always knew I wanted to do my own thing. So like from 9 years old, I'm outside cutting grass, trying to make money that way. A lot of people just take time for granted and take life for granted. But when I lost somebody that close to me, it really opened my eyes. Like, we don't got time to waste. Like, life is too short. And I learned that at a young age. It's like, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to be there for you the way that you're going to be there for you. When your back is against the wall like that, and you got to make it work.
You made $10,000 in a classroom. Basically, your teacher doesn't make that. It take them 3-4, maybe 6 months to make that, bro. And you did that talking on the phone.
Literally just on the phone.
Aiden! 17-year-old going crazy in wholesale real estate, and he just getting started. He just found out what this industry was, gets into it, closes a $10,000 deal. Let me not spoil the story, all right? Because this is a crazy story. This is one of those stories where you honestly, you got to listen to it and you're just like, I don't know if that's all the way true. Right. But it's also one of those stories whenever you do hear it, you're going to look at yourself and you're going to be like, no, I need to get my shit together. I need to make sure that I'm providing for my family. I'm going to make sure that the people around me are going to be taken care of. Like, there's no way you leave from this podcast. There's no way you leave from here without going to pick up the phone and starting to make some dials. Aiden, how you doing today, bro?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Good Saturday. You know what I'm saying? On the podcast. You know what I'm saying? How everybody doing? You know what I mean? Got prom later tonight. So yeah, I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? Bro,
there's nobody else in the wholesale industry who's closing deals and then got to go to prom later tonight, bro.
Yeah.
Right? You're someone who, whenever I heard that you closed the deal, it made me so happy, bro. It put a huge smile on my face. Just because I do know your story and I do know your why. So I want to jump right into it. Before you even coming across wholesale real estate, Aiden, what were you doing, bro?
It all started when I was young. Like, I always had an entrepreneur mindset. I always knew I didn't want to work for nobody. And, you know, I always knew I wanted to have my own thing because I never really liked listening to people. Like, throughout school, like, all that, I never really liked listening to people. Like, that makes sense. So it's like, I always knew I wanted to do my own thing. So, like, from, like, 9 years old, I'm outside cutting grass, trying to make money that way, you know, doing that for a couple of years. I started going on like Facebook and stuff like that, started buying, reselling, you know, then like once I got more into my high school years, like once I got more mature, I actually started like a clothing brand. So I was doing that actually before I got into this. So I was like doing that clothing brand. I was making some decent money, not nothing like serious as this, but you know, decent money to be my age, you know what I mean? And then so one day, so I'm just all like on my phone scrolling, and I knew about wholesale real estate because I like seen videos and stuff. Then I seen Roy, I'm like, hey, as soon as I seen Roy, it was like I felt the connection. You know what I mean? Like we kind of look similar, you know, dreads. Because a lot of people think like you can't really do what we do. You know what I'm saying? With the way we look, like you know, the stereotypical way, like you gotta look a certain way to do what we do, and that's just not the case. And that's where I kind of related to Roy, and I was like, all right, cool. So I just took the risk. You know what I mean? Invested in the Roy. And, you know, in the back of my mind, the whole reason why I was doing it, like I said, but just for my family, you know what I mean? Because I got 4, like, little siblings, like I said. They all look up to me. I'm the oldest. You know what I'm saying? My mom's a single mom. You know, my father actually passed like a year ago. It was crazy. My father actually passed. And then 3 days later, my granddad passed. And that was, like, another reason why it's, like, pushing me, and that like really was like a turning point in my life. It's like a lot of people just take time for granted and take life for granted, but when I lost somebody that close to me, it's like it really opened my eyes. Like, we don't got time to waste. Like, life is too short. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I gotta make a way. And then I just get to thinking about my whole family. I'm like, all right, I look at the whole picture. You got my little siblings at home, not really no good direction, and then my mom's not really all the way there. So it's like I gotta provide for my family. I don't really have no choice. And as of right now, it's like my grandma, my grandparents are the only ones that's providing. So that's when I come in. I'm like, okay, now I need to get this done in order to provide for my family. So that's literally my whole reason for doing what I do. Like, I need to do what I need to do to get this done so I can provide for my family. It's no choice. And that's why I took the risk. And I'm glad I did, because now, you know what I'm saying? Close like 10K, like you said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Within the first couple months. So
I wanna tap in on that, bro, because that's a lot to handle at 17, bro. So much to handle. And the fact that you were able to kind of like take all that pressure of being honestly the chosen one. Like, Your siblings, they look up to you. You can't fall off. Like grandma, she's also looking up to you as well. Like she knows she has to take care of you, but you're the next in line to take care of her. I want to know, how are you dealing with this pressure at the time?
To
Especially
be
you got
honest,
school, you got friends, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on. How are you dealing with all this?
yeah, to be honest, it gets to be a lot sometimes. Like I said, there's been like weeks since I started, like where I just like, to be honest, like I completely made no calls. Like I was just, in my bag, between school, trying to keep up with tests, grades, homework, between trying to handle, high school relationships. Because at the end of the day, I'm still in high school. I haven't even turned 18 yet. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I just got done playing football. So between just like all of this and trying to make sure I'm being productive within my wholesale business and trying to still be in the back of my mind, like I feel like I'm in a rush. Like I need to hurry up and get this done. So like between that and it's just like a lot of pressure. But honestly, it's just like, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Like you got to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you do gotta take a couple of days to just get your mind together. Maybe go chill with some friends. Maybe just like clear your head and come back. And also like I don't know, like if the people watching are religious, but I try to find a lot of faith in God. You know what I mean? And to be honest, like focusing on God and finding peace in Him, and then just clearing your mind and just staying disciplined. That's really it. You know what I mean? So don't quit.
Whenever you were picturing like with the example that you wanted to set for your siblings, what did that example look like? Who was the man that you wanted your siblings to look up to whenever they see their older brother?
I wanted my siblings to look at me as what I wanted to look at somebody as growing up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like me growing up, I didn't really have no good role models that were doing productive things in the world, that were actually, having a successful career and, actually having a good mindset and just a good overall life. You know what I mean? So it's like I kind of had to learn that myself in a way. And just for me, I want to be that for my siblings so they don't really have to go through that by themselves. Like so they can just look at me and see that it's possible to, do something else with life other than, what they may see in their environment. You know what I mean?
Most people in that position, they play the victim card. They're like, why me? Oh, this happened to me. Oh, this isn't fair, because they're too busy saying, why me, why me, why me? They let the people around them suffer.
All right.
Why were you different?
That's so real that you actually said that, because a lot of people do play victim. Like for me, my mindset is just completely different. It's like nobody's coming to save you. And I learned that at a young age. It's like nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to be there for you the way that you're going to be there for you. So it's like you don't got no choice but to go through life, and you can't play that victim card, because as soon as you play the victim card, you're just going to be stuck in the same place. Like nobody's going to come get you out of your situation. You're going to be stuck there. So until you decide to do something about it and stop playing victim, then that's when you're finally gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? If you play that victim card and you finally, oh, why me? Why me? You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna stay stuck in that spot. It's just gonna be your destiny. But if you genuinely want to change, like you're gonna do what you need to do to get out your situation.
And that's what you did. You came across wholesale real estate, right? You tried the clothing brand, you tried doing all the cutting grass, all the other stuff in high school. Then you finally come across wholesale real estate. What made you think that you could do this?
Just the simple fact of knowing who I am, knowing how determined I am as a person. Like I said, I've been playing sports my whole life. I've been playing football, basketball, baseball, track, everything. So it's like sports is like a discipline thing. Like you gotta be really disciplined. Like sports take up a lot of time in your life. And I feel like I get a lot of, my discipline from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How being in sports, having that discipline, you said, look, I'm dedicated in this.
Right.
I know I can take over wholesale real estate.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. And also to add on to that, like knowing my skills and like just the way that, I'm kind of charismatic with people around me. And like the way that I can sell, because like I said, I had a clothing brand before. So I was like good at like, trying to sell clothes here, like be like, hey, cop this hoodie off me. You know what I'm saying? So I like it was just like in me. Like, and like I said, from an early age, I always knew that I didn't want to work for nobody. So it was just like in me to, do it. So I just knew I can do it. You know what I mean? So that on top of the discipline, I was like, yeah, this is what I need to do.
I love that, bro. You come across wholesale and then you come across me. Now, at first, I remember on the call, you were ready to go. You were ready to go. But the funds were tied up with grandma at the time, right?
Yeah.
Grandma was just like, hold on, is this a scammer? What's going on, Aiden?
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah.
Right. I want to know, what made you trust me?
Yeah. Like I said, just what made me trust you is just you looking like me has a big part to do with it. You know what I'm saying? The content that you post, it's not like, most gurus or whatever you would say, they post more lifestyle you know what I'm saying, trying to sell you a dream, like trying to sell, other than really trying to help you. And what I seen with you was you actually was posting educational things, and like you had client results. And I was just like, you know, I was like, I had to get this done. I knew I had to find a mentor. I knew I couldn't do it by myself. So I was like, hey, I came across you. So there's something in me said, hey, this the one. I said, all right, let's do it. And like I said, my grandma, she wasn't going for it at first. And she was like, oh man, cause like I had the money, but it was all in cash, and I didn't really have a bank account and to like transfer it. So I like had to give the cash to my grandma, and then she had to put it in her account. Then she had to send it, and then she was like, "No, we're not doing that. This guy's a scammer. We don't even know his name. We're not about to send him this much money." And then Roy's like, "All right, bet you can do it straight through the bank, wire." I'm like, "All right, bro." So it was a whole big process, but I finally got her on board, and you know, we got it done.
So we finally joined, right? What was your first impressions of joining and working with me? Just like the first month, how was it?
First month, what? We're in May now. I think I joined like the end of December, early January.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, first month was cool, definitely, because I was just like, you know, like kind of going through the blueprint, still kind of learning. I don't think I was really making calls yet. Like the first month, I was just going trying to learn how to do it. You know what I mean? Just trying to get the hang of it so I can feel confident enough to get on the phones. I say that like end of the first month, like through the second month is when I actually like imported my list, and is when I actually got going. And like just having you there, just to like ask questions, having the groups, having the group calls like a couple times a week, just to ask questions about anything that you may need. Like it's all good. Like you don't really in this group, like you have everything you need. You don't need anything else. All the resources are there. You just got to do the work.
That's all you got, bro. So were you scared hopping on the phones at first?
I was a little nervous, like just a little nervous at first, because before I even joined the group, like I remember I'm actually at my friend's house right now. I remember being in here, and we was just like messing around with it. So we was like going Zillow, and we was like, you know, like skip trace on true people. And I was just like call them up and just like no script, no nothing, just like see what it's like on the phone. Just sounded like stupid, and I would like hang up on them mid call, and I'm just like, so I like had an idea. Yeah, so it's like I had an idea what it felt like to be on the phone. So like once I finally got on the phone, it was like I was already studying the script. So like I already like had it kind of in my mind, and like we did the role play and stuff. So like I was kind of confident when I got on the phone. So it wasn't really nothing. Then in the back of my mind, it's just like I don't even know who these people are. Like it's just a random number. It's not even my phone number. Like they're gonna forget about me if it's something happened. I'm like, all right, it's nothing. See, now getting on the phones is like the easy part. It's like now once you got them on the phone and they actually say yes, now getting onto that's when the nerves start coming. So it's like, all right, now I gotta lock in. You know what I mean?
I want to know if I made this up or not, because I swear this is what you told me. I didn't know if it was true or not, but I always wanted to ask you: were you actually cold calling in the classroom?
No, I wasn't cold calling in the classroom. No, but some of my follow ups did come in class because like I would have to schedule. Like I'll cold call after school. So like I get out around like one something in school. So like once I get out of school, like I'll just go somewhere and I'll like sit in the car and I'll just cold call like for a couple hours, and I'll go hit the gym or something like that. But nah, the way I actually closed this deal, that this first deal that I had, I was cold calling at the school. We were just talking back and forth for a long time. It was like I gave him an offer one time. He wasn't like going for it. Then I called him back up a couple weeks later, and I'm like, "Hey, did you ever get that property sold?" He's like, "Nah." I'm like, "Hey, well, all right, well, I know I still want to help your situation. You know what I'm saying? No, I can do this." I actually told him I can come out of pocket myself. I just pulled some crazy stuff out. Like I was like, "Hey, bro, look, my company, look, we're all booked up on everything. You know what I'm saying? All our funds are tied in other properties. But listen, man, like we talking for all these months, and you know, I really want to help you out. You know, I'll take this out my own pocket now. I can give you." And he's like, "All right, let's just do it." So then that's how that happened. And then that actually happened in school because I had set a follow up with him. And the only time he was available was the next morning. Next morning, I was in school, but like the time I was in school, like I have like a study hall class. So like I remember being in class, and then he called me in class while I was in class. So I hurried up and ran out down the hallway, and I went to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom. I was talking to him. I'm like, "All right." And then I went to the closing script, and I closed them right in school. And then I had sent the contract to him later that day, but I closed them while I was literally in the bathroom in school, bro. It was crazy.
That's so crazy. bro.
It's
Like,
crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, Aiden, you're the definition of no excuses. You had your childhood, all the siblings, living with grandma, being the oldest, having sports, having school, having to do this clothing brand, learning the clothing brand, learning a new industry, trusting this guy online. Like, is he gonna scam me? Is he actually real? Like, all right, cool. I just gotta try it. And then making calls in school, bro. Like, no excuses. By any means necessary, Aiden's gonna make it work. I
Any
feel like
means.
that's what people lack nowadays. That's why most people don't close their first deal, bro, because they don't have that drive. And
Yeah.
I don't know how you got that touch on the shoulder. I don't know how you got that wire in your brain where it made sure you were gonna get to the next level. But bro, like that wire alone, that trait is gonna take you so fucking
Yeah.
far. You understand, bro?
Yeah.
Just getting started. You made $10,000 in a classroom. You made basically your teacher doesn't make that. I don't think in like a cool three. It take them threefold, maybe 6 months to make that, bro. And you did that talking on the phone.
Literally just on the phone. Like
How did
that's
you feel when that deal closed?
I felt good, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like something in me. It's like that's not enough. It hit my account like when it finally closed. Like once I had to sign the HUD statements and the affidavit or whatever I think it's called.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, now it's like, all right, it's about to hit. So it's like once it hit, it was just like, I got it. You know what I mean? And it felt good. I was excited. You know what I'm saying? I was most excited to just like let the group know that like I got something. You know what I'm saying? That was most
Yeah.
excited. You know what I'm saying?
I remember you came to the group call. Originally, the deal was gonna be like 5,000, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You came to the group call. You're just like, yo, should I ask for more? And we asked the whole group, and everybody said, go for more, go for more, go for more. You
yeah,
got the 10, bro. Like that's.
yeah.
Have you shown grandma yet?
Oh yeah, I actually gave her a little something,
Oh,
just for the troubles. That was the first thing I did. But then I bought my little siblings like some shoes and stuff. But now the rest I'm just gonna. I'm to be honest, I just sitting on. I don't really know what to do. That's all.
well, first, that's what
Like,
we have a one-on-one call about, so we can teach you how to
yeah,
scale.
yeah, yeah,
I think you should scale in summer, so you can go full time on this. So as soon as you're done with school, that's when we should kind of start reinvesting the scale. But before we get into that, bro, because that touched my heart. That's amazing. What was grandma's reaction?
she was just like proud. She was like, yeah, I'm like so proud of you, you know what I mean? Cause like for a while she didn't even know I was still doing it. Like cause I was just like doing it like by myself, you know what I mean? Like I would just like go out to school, sit in the car to do it. So she didn't even know I was still like on it. Cause at first I was telling her like, hey, I actually got my first lead today, you know what I'm saying? I might be able to get this under contract. She actually took me to walk a couple properties cause I'm like I'm calling in my local market. So I'll be going to like actually see the property sometimes and she take me back and forth, but for a while she stopped. And when I told her I was just riding to school and then I was like, hey, I got a contract for the real estate stuff that I've been doing. So that was really I don't think she really like took it too serious. But then like once the deal closed and I actually showed her, I said, look, it hit. Like she was like, wow. So I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I told you it worked. That's
How do you
crazy.
feel being able to give back to her finally? Because I remember that was your main thing you wanted to do, bro.
No, I felt good. Like, you know how grandma, she didn't want to take it. But I just got it out in cash and I just had it like slipping in her wallet type. So, but she didn't really want to take it. She said, no, you keep your money. But I said, nah, I just wanted to get back. You know what I mean?
How do you feel giving back to little siblings?
I always get back to them all the time anyway. So, but it always feels good getting back to them because it's like I see myself in them, and like like I said, I never really had no bigger role model or no big brother and nothing like that. So it's like I see myself in them. It's like I get excited like when I see them excited type. So it's like it feels good getting back to them for sure.
There's a kid watching this, and he has a similar situation. He doesn't have a role model. He doesn't have no big brother. He doesn't have a male figure in his life. All the pressure is on him to make it work. And if he doesn't make it work, the family's not going to go anywhere. What advice do you have to say to him?
When your back is against the wall like that and you got to make it work, first off, look for God, look for Jesus. That's going to give you the mental peace that you need and the confidence and it's going to make you feel like you're worthy of what you want to do because God puts visions in people's minds and that vision that he puts in your mind is what he wants you to do. And it's like when people don't do that, that's why they feel down. Like when people feel down, it's most likely because they're not doing what they know they need to do. You know what I'm saying? So you just need to, like I said, you need to know what you need to do, first of all. And when you know you need to make it work, you just got to grind. Like there's really no, like you know you need to make it work, you got to make it work. You know what I mean? A lot of people get like little tiny bursts of motivation to do something with their life. That's not gonna cut it. Like if you're in a similar situation to me, you don't really got nobody to look up to, and you like, all right, yeah, I need to make something work for my family. All right, I'm about to get on this. I'm about to start doing this. About to start making calls. Whatever. When we do that, you do that little burst happen for a little week. Now, all right, nothing happened. It's like now you got to find a reason why. Like that's the main thing. You have to have a reason why. If you don't got a reason why, you're not gonna make it. Like you have to have a reason why, so you can keep pushing. Like 'cause when that motivation goes away, like in the back of your mind, you need something else to push you. Because if you don't got nothing else and you're just doing it for your own benefit, like it's not gonna last long. So I say definitely just have a reason why and to make sure that pushes you all the way through.
I appreciate you hopping on the podcast. I feel like that's the perfect way to end it, bro. If you're somebody out there who feels like you back against the wall, don't make excuses. Aiden is an example of not making excuses and getting it done. In class, getting the calls done, taking the risk and the bet on himself to get guidance, saying that I'm going to be the one who takes care of my siblings and eventually take care of my grandma as well and give back to her. No excuses by any means. All right. So, Aiden, I appreciate you for coming on the podcast. I'm sure a lot of people have gotten a lot of value from your story, and I appreciate you sharing that, brother.
Yes, sir. And appreciate you for having me.
100%, brother.